What's up, everybody? I am BK, bkbangers.com, and welcome. I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by, checking me out. I haven't done video like this in a minute where I do like a mixing kind of breakdown-ish. I forget what I titled them, but this is just basically me breaking down a track that I created this actually in a live stream a couple days back, and I revisited the track to see if it was worthy enough to, mix it, arrange it, and it definitely was something that became dope enough for me to go the full length of mixing, organizing, and arranging everything. So I thought that, I might as well share with you guys what I did to get it to the level of where it's at now. So pretty much, shout out to everybody that, tunes in on those live streams. I do them randomly. I'm gonna probably start doing them daily, but I basically do a late night stream and I do a midday stream, and I try to break them up. I don't want to do a midday and a late night in one day. I'll do a late night today and do a midday tomorrow, or I could do both of them. It's all on you guys and how you respond. So if you'd like to see more of those live streams, if you appreciate the content, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. Hit that like button to let me know that you enjoy the content nonetheless. Alright? And yeah, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. What you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Alright, so like I was saying, if you were in the live stream, you kind of seen when I was creating the beat, and I started off with this piano right here. I solo it out. I'll take off the inserts. I'll also take it out the reverb. Alright, so that was pretty much the piano. And then I went ahead and I added a pad, and these sounds came out of Nexus. I believe I was using the D-RZA. I forget what the pack is called, but it's from producergrind.com. I believe it was a free download kit. So go over to producergrind.com and you could get these sounds as well. I mean, you're not gonna play it the way I played it and mix it the way I mixed it, but the sounds is there. Alright, so this was the pad. I added the pad. That's the pad raw with nothing added on it. After I added, I mixed it down. On the piano, I pretty much did the same thing. Like if you guys view any of my mixing tutorials, you see the process of what I use, but I'll recap on it for those of you who may not have ever seen any of those videos. I'll show you real quick. I'll go to the mixing console. Pretty much on all the tracks that I create, I do what is called gain staging. I do a process of gain staging before I add any elements of VST's plugins, effects plugins. I do gain staging first. So you start off raw with, you know, your sounds, and I basically get a level. I use the fader tool. I have a Personas fader port, so it kind of helps me to not have to use the mouse pad. I'll just click on a track, and then, well, you guys can't see it, but I have the fader port over here, and I'm using the fader port. But anyway, that's besides the point. You want to start off when you have your track laid out and you know kind of how you want it to sound. Coming from those VSTs, you want to kind of make your adjustments inside the VSTs to get your levels the way you want it, and then you get a second adjustment when you get over here to the mixing stages. Okay, so you do a course of gain staging, and my way of gain staging is by getting the optimum level on each instrument or sound, and I get it to the point of where I need it to be, or I like it. There's no kind of, you know, the only rule of thumb is to gain stage, but there's no right way or wrong way of doing this. So basically what I do is I get a level, I lower the levels on everything, and then I raise them as I go. I bring them all in, and I kind of do it since I created the beat. I made it myself. I know what I started with. So I usually would start with, I start with the instruments first when I'm creating, but then when I'm mixing, I start with the drums, and I color code everything. So right now, all the instruments, like the piano and the pad, they're in blue, and all the drums, all the percussion are in red. And then I have the reverb and delay, they're in their own colors. And I have what track is this? Interesting. And I have and you want to set up your routing situation. If you haven't already seen the template video that I did, I'll leave a link. I'll find the video and leave a link in the description, or put it in the card above here to my right, above me right here. There'll be a card that should pop up anytime around now, and you'll see how to create your template in Studio One. This is for Studio One users. If you're in another DAW, you can utilize these same skills in your DAW of choice. But basically you want to set up your route, and I use auxiliary channels or bus channels to route the band or the instruments to its own section, and as well as the drums. Like you can see here on all the drums, it says drums, and this is the drum fader right here. So, and then these buses are routed, the band and the drum bus is routed to the filter, and the filter is routed to the main, which is the master, and then the master is routed to the main. But that's besides the point. I'm breaking down a lot of stuff that, granted, I shouldn't really be going into. But like I was saying, gain staging. You want to gain stage. So I use this tool right here called the mix tool. It's a stock tool inside of Persona Studio One, and I use this on each track individually to do gain staging. And each track, like if I start here and I click through, like you could say this is the delayed piano. I have this on so it won't do it, but you see the it's on -11 dBs. That's the volume. And then on the pad it's 10.36, -10.36 dBs. And they all have their own individual adjustments, and we use that as to gain stage the volume. And then we also go down here to the individual faders and make adjustments as well. And that is gain staging in a nutshell. Alright, so back out here, Fox, and this came out of Omnisphere. And it basically does that all the way through. This is with the inserts. I noticed that I didn't add this. I was on the wrong track. I didn't notice I was on the wrong track. So let me do that again. I'll take off the inserts. This is with the mix tool and the reverb and delay. I added a reverb and delay, and it's in its own channel, so all the sounds are routed to that reverb and delay channel strip. And I added a Pro EQ on all the channels, and I did some adjustments. In this one, I cut out some of the you know, it looks crazy, but I basically cut out some of the lows, some of the highs. I boosted up in this what's that, the 5 kilohertz range. I boosted it up a little bit because that's where the vocal was sitting best for me. Again, there's no rule of thumb, there's no right or wrong way. It's just you tweak it to how you like it to sound. That's sound designing, and you know, that's part of being a producer and engineer. So alright, so the next track that after I did the band, I then went ahead and I started to mix the drums, and there was no real rhyme or reason with mixing the drums. You know, kick, snare, hat, we mix it as we go along. The only thing that I'll show you guys basically is that I added a Echo Boy on both the snares and the hats, and that got that little trippiness going on. Let me bring it back over here. Now if I solo this hat, and I take off the Echo Boy and the Pan Man. Well, hell, I'll just take off all the inserts so you guys can hear the difference of what it did. Alright, so that's with it raw. And I also have, I was gonna get over here, but I also have the Glitch 2 by illfomed. I have that added on there as well. I'll take it off. I forgot that that was on it, and all the sounds are routed to that filter, so it's giving that little trippiness. I'll play that again. So we started with the gain staging, then I added this driver. This is from Native Instruments. There's a preset in here called extra hi-hat, and I used that, and then I tweaked, and I took down some of the resonance on it, and I pushed up on the color, and then I added an EQ, and I cut out most of the lows because it had some low end, and I cut out some of the highs, and then I added an Echo Boy, and this is where the trippiness comes in. So as you can see, this is on default. All I did was I made some adjustments with the timing. I pushed up on the mix and the feedback to get that, you know, that trippiness. And then I added a Pan Man to have it, like if you're listening in headphones right now, you could actually hear it moving around you from left to right, basically. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I added it to the reverb and the delay, and that's pretty much that's how I got that sound. So that's pretty much the beat in a nutshell of mixing. I mean, there wasn't pretty much to do with these sounds, because these sounds came from the Inferno drums from soundoracle.net. If you purchase Oracle percussion loops, you got Inferno drums for free. So it's kind of like you got 2 kits for the price of 1. And honestly, in my opinion, it was well worth it. And Inferno drums, I've been using it ever since I got it. Like I can't not use any other drum. Not that I can't, but the sound that is given, I like the sound, so I've been messing with it. So shout out to Sound Oracle. You did your thing with this one. Moving right along, I'll put back on the glitch. Now the glitch, y'all could go ahead and screenshot that. This was a preset inside of the glitch, but then I initialized the settings, and I tweaked the timing, and also I placed the blocks in where I wanted to. So you could go ahead and screenshot that if you want and try to recreate from it. But I also did a lot of, individualized mixing, and on each one of these I mixed it to how I wanted it to sound. And that's a cool thing with the glitch. Like, you're able to come in here, even if you use a preset, you can then come in here and you know, mix, use the mixer. It has a filter, you know, it's really cool. So if you're not utilizing the glitch and you have it, shame on you. Alright, so that was pretty much that was everything, man. On the master, I added a I don't remember which one it was, but it basically came out this lit mastering preset. I did a kit review of it. I'll post a link either in the description or in a card above. Somewhere around here it'll pop up, and if you haven't already checked that out, be sure to check that out. And it basically breaks, this is for Studio One users though. If you have Studio One, you could get the lit mastering kit from the homie Concrete Zebra over at studio1tutorials.com. Alright, it's a dope mastering preset suite, and it helps you basically it everything that you would be doing. He went ahead and put a kit together, and each one of the, I think it came with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It came with 5 files, and each file had inserts in it. And this is the same thing you would do at the end of your after you finish mixing, you would go to your master fader and add these inserts in to reach commercial standard volume level, because we're in like the volume wars. It's whose song is the loudest basically, and it's been so for quite some time. But that's with that. So that's how I basically achieved the sound. And then the next thing was just arranging and organizing. Now the song, now it's a song, it's not just a beat. It's 3 minutes and 47 seconds long, and I started off with 8 bars. Maybe it was 8 bars in one sequence. Then there was another sequence of 8, so it was 16 bars put together. And then, you know, I copied and pasted. Shout out to 4 Cycles of Life, my brother that did that song. Shout out to 4 Cycles of Life, man. The homie Kareem over at 4cyclesoflife.com. He's a good brother. He's the herbalist, a master herbalist. Check him out. He has a YouTube channel. I'm only shouting him out right now because as you guys may have seen, that I got a notification from him. Good brother. He also helps with business tips. Not getting paid from him. That was just, you know, it popped up, so I thought to mention it. Nonetheless, like I was saying, started with 8 bars, and the 16 turned into 16 bars, copied and pasted all the way out. And in Studio One, there's this thing called the Arranger tool, and you're able to arrange and title what you want each section to be. So we start off with the intro, and then we go to the hook, and then we go to the verse, and then you can see here it says verse A, verse B, verse C, and then bridge. Alright, let me break down the reason why it says that. I'm at this tempo, or BPM, is at 134.81. Let's say 134 or 135 BPMs. Alright, so I'm playing the drums in double time, or half speed of the time. Basically, the snare falls on a 3 beat, the 3 and the 7. So basically, that makes it double time. All right, and in most double time beats at a high tempo, if I was to make this 16 bars, well, it would be 32 bars, right? If I was doing it like that, or 24 bars, it would be. And if you have 3 24 bar verses or 3 32 bar verses, that's a long song. All right, so with an intro and an outro, 2 verses and 2 bridge sections, and there are 3 hooks: the hook in the beginning, the hook in the middle, or the chorus, some of you may call it, or we call it a hook. So the hook in the beginning, a hook in the middle, and a hook at the end, and an outro. All right, that gives us 3 minutes and 40 something seconds. So verse A becomes, and verse A, verse B, and verse C is one verse. It's 12 bars. All right, verse A is 4, verse B is 4, and verse C is 4. 4 bars. It's really 8 bars, but it's in double time. But nonetheless, that makes it 12 bars. So it's a 12 bar verse, and then the other 4 would be, it would make it 16, but that became a bridge. Now, hip hop dudes don't usually use bridge, the word term bridge. That's usually a breakdown section, and you know, I put it there, and it's there. So like it or love it. Alright, so we basically just dropped out some of the sound. Some of them I cut out all the way, and some of them I muted out. You can see it's grayed out, and I do that by using Command or Control if you're on a PC, and I click. Alright, but you have to be highlighted your mute tool, which is 6 on, if you the numerical symbol 6. How you get to it is you press the number 1, and as you can see, the blue is moving along. You basically stop under mute, or you could just click it. It doesn't matter, but you know, right? It don't matter. But I keep it on this, and then I use the command and click. But anyway, I muted some of the sounds out, and I cut out some of the sounds, and that basically got us this song. What did I call it? Let me see. I called it Patreon. Patreon. This song will be up on my Flash Store player, which is now Airbit. It'll be up on my player sometime this week. I just gotta get all these songs bounced, mixed, and organized so I could put them up on the channel. If you have not visited bkbangers.com, do so. You can see it's right here, right adjacent to me in gold. bkbangers.com. I am BK Banger, and I want to thank you so much if you reached this far throughout this if you've reached so far throughout this video. Thank you so much for stopping in and tuning in.
bkbangers.com.
Showcase what we do, you know, as producers. But that's just me breaking down another mix. If you haven't already checked out the other ones, do so when you find the time. If you haven't already checked out Sample School Sundays, it's a series that I do here on the channel, BK Banga TV, and it's basically me breaking down down how to go about sampling and where to get the
Bangas.
samples from and how to use the samples and flip the samples and all those kind of things that got anything to do with sampling. Alright, so if you have not already checked that out, check it out. There will be a new episode on Mother's Day Sunday. So after you go to church and you have your Mother's Day meal, stop back here on BK Bangers TV and check out some
BK.
Sundays. Alright? So with that much said, I also added some automation. I was about to close out, but before I close out, I'll give you guys a little tip on automation. So speed it up. You hear that little dip? That's just basically a filter.
Bangas.
And that came from, go back to the mix console. That came from it came from Pro Q2 from Fab Filter, and I basically just have a curve, a high pass curve that cuts off at the between 1K and 2K at 1000, and the hertz is 932.87. Again, there's no rule of thumb of this, no right or wrong way of doing this, but this is how I went about doing it. And I added the automation for it to automate out through the song. And I basically just painted them in by adding a point, and then I use the is basically turning on and off. So right now it's bypass, and this is the automation. So the automation comes from the bypass. So when it's playing right now, it's not on. And when it gets to the point of where I want it to come in at, you see that it turns off. And you see it's playing. And then it goes to a point and it turns back off.
Bangas.
And it dies out. Alright, so that's automation. If you guys want me to go in on it more detailed, leave a comment down below and I'll do a video on automation. You know what I'm saying? If you guys are interested, I might still do one anyway, just for the sake of doing it, but that'll be when I find the time. But if you guys show a need for the know-how of you utilizing it, I'll push it up in urgency. Alright, so with that much said, we've reached my time today. I am BK Banga, bkbangers.com. Thank you so much for your subscription. Thank you so much for your time. Peace, love, and light till next time. And do remember that music is life. It is your DNA. Alright? Keep banging. Peace.
bkbangers.com. Bangas.